Hi there, welcome to Apple World also. What was the deal? Better believe it. And afterward, I got into a trap with August. I said that. An entrapment? Indeed. Indeed, a relationship indeed, it was a relationship. Did Will Smith play a casualty this time? Just to admit he cheated as well, after Jada Pinkett Smith conceded to having an entrapment with August Alsina. The fans went through months hauling her for cheating and making Will extremely upset. Nonetheless, Will just conceded he wasn't unwavering either in a stunning new meeting. What's more, the fans are saying they now at last comprehend the reason why Jada got into that snare in any case. So what precisely did Will say regarding betraying his better half that got fans to adjust their perspective on Jada's trap? We'll give you the full scoop. So stay put and ensure you click that buy-in button to make it known. For quite a while, Jada Pinkett Smith was being executed via web-based entertainment for evidently going behind Will's back with August Alsina. The fans abhorred Jada for portraying her issue as an entrapment cheat and blamed her for obliterating both August and Will's lives. A few superstars likewise freely got down on Jada for engaging with August. Charlemagne the God hammered her for having a poisonous outlook and exploiting a weak young fellow without regard for anyone else. August Alsina said that young fellow came to her messed up and needing mending, and her reaction was that she needed to feel quite a bit better. I hadn't felt quite a bit better in quite a while. So you laid down with him? Quit worrying about how that young fellow is feeling. You know, you've just got to get yours. That is an example of a poisonous way of behaving. That is a lady driving with the harmful male and not the heavenly female. That is not the way you are, August. Arrive at a position of mending. Also, Jada is up there at that red table offering guidance to individuals when, in fact, she hasn't accomplished the work on herself that she really wants to. Nonetheless, August, at that point, dropped a sensation in a meeting with Angela Yee and guaranteed Will gave him his approval to be involved with Jada. I really sat down with Will and had a discussion. He gave me his approval, however. Many fans at the time either didn't really accept that August and blamed him for making things up for the clout, or they felt frustrated about him and asserted Jada exploited him. However, it seems as though August could have been coming clean about Will giving him his approval, since it currently turns out that Will had no ethical ground to remain on and act all hurt in that red casual conversation interview when he was doing likewise as Jada in a stunning new meeting with. GQ will at long last focused overall trap circumstance. What's more, he likewise admitted to certain things that didn't actually agree with a ton of fans. Will previously discussed how turning 50 changed his point of view, and said he chose to give himself the opportunity to do anything he desired to do. As per Will, what he would call opportunity in his 50s implied going all over the planet without security, exploring different avenues regarding hallucinogenics, doing his very first stand-up gig, and furthermore having a significantly more loosened-up mentality about monogamy. Will opened up to GQ about working with closeness mentor Michaela Baham for quite a long time, and uncovered that during his most memorable gathering with Baham. He told her his greatest wish in the entire world is to have a group of concubines of lady friends. Furthermore, when Baham asked who precisely he would need in his group of concubines, he named explicit celebs, including Halle Berry and ballet artist Cloudy Copeland. I don't have any idea where I saw it or some as a teen, yet going with 20 ladies that I cherished and dealt with and all of that. It appeared as though a truly extraordinary thought, Will said. He then uncovered that until the end of that meeting with Boham, both of them explored explicit ladies who could balance his optimistic group of concubines, and they even concocted an arrangement to contact these ladies. Better believe it, we can read your mind. This is the same man every one of the fans felt frustrated about after Jada admitted to her entrapment with August. In any case, by then in the meeting, Will most likely acknowledged he had uncovered altogether too much. So in the wake of exclaiming that he and his closeness mentor intend to call ladies on his fantasy list, he immediately added after we played it out a smidgen. I was like, that sounds terrible. I was like, could you at any point envision how hopeless? Will then, at that point, proceeded to guarantee the treatment meeting was just intended to engage him and expressed out loud that whatever she was doing was basically clearing out my psyche, telling me it was all right to be me and be what my identity was. It was okay to think Haley was fine. It doesn't make me a terrible individual that I'm married. Also, I think Haley is delightful. The 53-year-old entertainer then faulted his Christian childhood for causing him to accept that, in any event, having contemplations about different ladies is a transgression. That was actually the interaction that Michaela worked me through to allow me to understand that my contemplations were not sins. And surprisingly, following up on a tainted idea didn't make me a piece of it. Did you get that last part? Will said that following up on a sullied thought, otherwise known as cheating, doesn't make him a piece of poo. In any case, that is not even the most stunning thing, Will told GQ. He likewise addressed the subject of Jada's trap with August, and that scandalous red casual conversation interview that transformed his crying face into an image. In any case, before he uncovered how he had an outlook on that meeting, Will provided GQ with a draft of his forthcoming tell-all journal, in which he essentially admits to being an egotist and an overbearing person. Ensure Will didn't utilize those words expressly. However, look at what he said about the early, long periods of his union with Jada. He didn't at first uncover that Jada needed a conventional wedding service, yet she yielded to his tension. This would be the first of many trade-offs Jada would make throughout the long term that agonizingly discredited her own qualities. Will composed. He then, at that point, proceeded to concede that he convinced Jada to move into an immense 256-square-foot land compound that she detested. No good thing comes from spending your well-deserved cash on a family home that your significant other doesn't need, Smith composed. You are putting an initial installment on dissension, and for quite a long time, you will be taking care of a home loan of hopelessness or more terrible. But in any case, you will have continued and made that initial investment. So for a really long time, Jada would get up numerous mornings in tears. Jada likewise clearly turned down a chance for her band to open for Weapons and Roses just so that Will could keep shooting the quest for joy. Notwithstanding, when Jada turned 40, the strain among her and Will reached the point of boiling over. As per Will, he had endured 3 years arranging a close supper with loved ones where he needed to screen a narrative that chronicled Jada's life and followed her family's genealogy back to subjugation. However, Jada was angry, and she let Will know that evening that that was the most over-the-top, appalling presentation of self-image I've at any point found in my life. They proceeded to have an unstable battle and got so clearly into it that their girl, Willow, who was 10 at that point, arose crying with her hands over her ears, beseeching them to stop. Our marriage wasn't working, Will writes in his original copy. We cannot presently imagine that we were both hopeless, and obviously something needed to change. However, as indicated by GQ as of now, the composition closes suddenly, and Will doesn't make sense of the exact thing he implied needed to change. And afterward, at long last, when GQ squeezed Will for a response and inquired as to whether his change included Jada, others would admit that at one point he directed his marriage toward Jada and quit being monogamous. He then proceeded to guarantee Jada never had confidence in traditional marriage since she experienced childhood in a family where many individuals had capricious connections. Will made sense of the fact that he and Jada picked monogamy, disregarding that perhaps monogamy isn't, as he put it, social flawlessness. We have given each other trust and opportunity with the conviction that everyone needs to figure things out, Will said. What's more, marriage for us can't be a jail. He then said that despite the fact that he doesn't recommend his street for anyone, the open marriage he has with Jada is the best quality of affection. Obviously, this is where GQ wanted to find out whether this casual disposition to cheating went 2 different ways and requested that Will remark on Jada's snare with August. People in general have a story that is impervious, Will answered. When the general population chooses something, dislodging the photos, thoughts, and perceptions is unthinkable. Yet, what precisely did people in general misunderstand about Jada's trap? Indeed, here's where we get to the succulent stuff. We'll make sense of it for GQ that the vast majority left watching that casual conversation interview thinking Jada was the only one participating in other sexual connections, when that was not the situation. So at long last, Will conceded he too had traps. Coincidentally, the ladies he cheated with kept their mouths shut. In contrast to August. What's more, this is the reason such countless fans thought Will was a blameless casualty in this entire circumstance. Be that as it may, the fans never again feel the same way about Will, and some of them are presently, in any event, saying they absolutely get why Jada engaged with another man. One fan said that Will's GQ interview shows exactly how self-image driven he is and added, "Yowzer. Jada is correct. I absolutely get why she cheated." Someone else remarked, "The staggering energy I get from this large number of scraps is that Will Smith stinks and is an egomaniac of the greatest request. Perhaps a sociopath." So after quite a while of hammering Jada and calling her a wide range of names, the fans are presently hauling Will on Twitter and blaming him for blaming everything on his better half and playing the person in question. Will Smith's GQ interview is trash. One fan is composed.